video showing my haul from the Pittsburgh Stamp Scrap Art Expo that was held over the weekend in Monroeville, just right outside of Pittsburgh. Let me just get my camera ready here and I'll show you my little mini haul. So, let me find the flyer that we got when we walked in the door. I was fortunate enough that Nancy Stamps came and stayed here where I live. I live about an hour outside of Pittsburgh. And together with Leah, her daughter, we went to the show. So it was a lot of fun. So we've got the stampscraparttour.com, and it tells you the names of the companies that were there. These are, small mom and pop companies, and the Stampers Anonymous being probably the biggest name there. You've got the Ton, they were there, as well as Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, and My Craft Room, and Northwood Rubber Stamps, and Versus, and Anthony's Paper Crafts, and Inky Antics, Art Gone Wild. There were also people there from a company called My Craft Project, Simply Stamping, Creative Memories, and Chalk Couture. Okay, so there's a couple more shows left this year. I'll put this up to the camera so that you can see the dates. March 5th and 6th in Illinois. Oh, wait, those are over. Sorry. The ones that are coming up, August 26th and 27th in Hamburg, New York. September 9th and 10th in Westminster, Maryland. September 23rd and 24th in Southfield, Michigan. And October 21 and 22 in Hampton, Virginia. I'm going to show you some coupons after I'm done showing you what I purchased. So one of the things that I got was this from Stampers Anonymous. This is the Tiny Text Christmas from Tim Holtz. What I like about these are you've got lots of little mini sentiments that you can put on with your big die cuts. So for example, if I had, like a die cut of a Christmas tree or something, I could find something here that might match with that. So let's see here. If it was a tree with snow on it, this one says Walking in a Winter Wonderland. I'll Be Home for Christmas. So yeah, if you have like little ornaments or Christmas lights, you've got Merry and Bright. If you have a Christmas bell, while Christmas bells are ringing, there's just really cute little sentiments. Some of them are in all capitals, some of them are small letters. But either way, they're going to be a nice little companion set to some of the die cut sentiments that I use on my Christmas cards. Okay, also I picked up some archival inks. So I got these two sets. This one is Wendy Vecchi. It just says number 4, and this one is I'm not sure. I don't see the actual name of them, but I know the names of the colors. So we've got Red Geranium, Orange Blossom, Fern Green, and Cornflower Blue. I like those colors. And then Pink Peony, Sky Blue, Tea Rose, and Violet. And I picked up a tin to store these in. As well, I have some archival inks already. These are archival distress inks Ground Espresso, Vintage Photo, Black Soot, and Hickory Smoke. So my thought being I could store these, and Nancy, like I said, she visited me, and on the first day we did some crafting in my craft room, and she brought her Better Press. And here are some of the things that I created using the Better Press and some inks that Nancy brought along. So this one is from Spellbinders. Isn't that nice? I know you can't see it, but it's like letterpress debossed. This one I used the cornflower blue, so it's got a floral pattern. Oh, on this one I used the interference, not the interference, but the inks from Lisa Horton that have the mica in them. And hold on, let me grab one because I'm not saying it right. I use the Cloud 9 interference inks. They're a pigment ink from Lisa Horton. Those are really cool. They make some very stunning color combinations. I use 2 different colors. And then the same Spellbinders letterpress die I used on this one too. This is actually interference ink too. It's actually this teal twist, but this is what it looks like on white paper, and this is what it looks like on black paper. All right, so I enjoyed it. I thought that was a cool concept. So I figured eventually I'll probably get the letterpress. So I got myself some archival inks that I can use. Now you can use any inks, but I like what Nancy pointed out was that if you have these smaller cubes, sometimes it makes for better application on your die, because you'll just be inking the plate instead of all around the plate, which I did. When I stamped this one, when I letterpress this one, I used Catherine Pooler's Cranberry Fizz ink, and I had ink all around the sides and this way, all over the, the actual letterpress system. So I felt like really bad because, I cleaned it up, but I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to stain Nancy's letterpress. Anyway, so yeah, while I had the opportunity, I picked up some colors that I like. And this is really all that I need. I don't expect that I'm going to go buy any more archival inks. I think this gives me enough of a variety that I can, achieve really nice effects. So that's going to be a future project, I'm sure, when I get the letterpress, maybe for Christmas. So Northwoods Rubber Stamps is another company that was at the show, and I picked up another pack of the lovely Northwoods Rubber Stamps watercolor paper. This pack of paper, it'll last you for a while. I like it because it works really well with watercoloring, whether you're using pencils or brushes. This is a great paper. So it's definitely a good paper to use. And I bought a couple blending stumps from Inky Antics. You can never have too many of these. I like the size. They're easy to hold on to and do your blending of your watercolor and your Gamsol. And then from Versus, I purchased a couple stamps. This one says, running today. It says, while I was running today, I thought I heard someone clapping. Then I realized it was just my thighs cheering me on. So I thought that was cute. And then, we get older every day, but only once a year do you get a handmade birthday card from me. Happy birthday. And then, everything your heart desires is what I wish for you, not only on your birthday, but throughout the whole year too. So that was really nice. And then I purchased this rotary blade cartridge. This is a replacement for the Tim Holtz trimmer. Now, I don't need it right now because my trimmer is just fine, but it does work with the Tim Holtz rotary media trimmer. I just wanted to have it so that when the time came that I felt like it was time to replace it, I had it handy. Because sometimes, you're in the middle of a project, you don't want to have to, wait to get the item that you need to finish your project. So for example, this would be in my closet. I know I could always grab it if I need it. So those companies are all affiliated with Stampers Anonymous. And Stampers Anonymous was the organizing company behind the Stamp Scrap Art Expo. And you can see they have a coupon here that you can save 15% on your next online purchase. Use code Pittsburgh SSAT 15 at checkout. This expires on July 31st, 2023. Does not include bundles, Sizzix switch machine, or media mats. Okay, now this company, Northwoods Rubber Stamps, also has the coupon Pittsburgh SSAT 15 for 15% off, as well as Art Gone Wild. And I'm going to hold this up closer to the camera because it's probably the largest text of all these coupons. It says Pittsburgh, PITTSBURGH, capital SSAT 15 when you check out to get that coupon. And the companies that are part of Stampers Anonymous, you've got Stampers Anonymous, Art Gone Wild, Inky Antics, Versus Rubber Stamps, Northwoods, and Darcy's Heart and Home. You can use those. I think you can use that coupon at any one of those. They also have a company, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, called Mason Rowe. They make personalized self-inking stamps, which I have one for my return address, and I like it a lot. The folks at Stampers Anonymous are organizing Stamp Away. This is going to be held August 2nd through the 5th. And basically it's what they describe it is a learning and shopping rubber stamp extravaganza. There's classes that you can attend. I think the classes are extra. And there's tickets if you just want to come in and shop on Friday evening and Saturday. And then during Friday evening and Saturday, the different booths that are there will have make and takes. And the different booths represent a whole bunch of different companies that are, part of the stamping world. So Nancy and I will be there. We are going to be working at the booth for Local King Rubber Stamp. Lisa, the owner of Local King, hasn't been to Stamp Away in a while. I've never met her before, so I'm looking forward to meeting her and to helping her in her booth. So if you're anywhere near Cincinnati, Ohio, please come. Please come and meet us and say hello and support these small companies that have a lot to offer. And the products that they have, you can't find them in a big box store. And if you do, it's not exactly the same, because the people who make these products, they understand what it is that we're looking for as card makers. And they've tested these products. They know how good the quality is and how it's going to just be, perfect for our type of crafting. I know I don't even go to like Michael's or Joann's anymore because there's nothing there for card makers, or there's really hardly anything there. All right, so another booth that I went to was the Ton. I went to Effie's booth and did a make and take. I used a new stencil set with roses to create this. Now all I have to do is just trim it out and use it as a card front. Don't you think these roses are beautiful? They're so realistic looking. And it was a 3-layer stamp. So 3 layers for the leaves, 3 layers for the roses, using, 3 shades of green and pink, and it's just beautiful. So this is part of her new release, which features this one, another one, and then another one with roses. So you might want to check that out. All right, another make and take that I did was at Blue Night Rubber Stamp. I made a cotton candy sky using pan pastels, and the stamp set that I used, I will show you because I already had it in my stash. It is called, here it is, this one is called Flying South, okay? That one's called Flying South, all right? And of course, there were also some other new stamps to me at Blue Night Rubber Stamp. This one is called Path to the Beach. Really cool. It's already got the scene set for you. All you have to do is color it in with your pan pastels, and you've got a really nice card for the summer. And the sentiment is happiness is sand between your toes. I picked up this one. It's called Silhouette Birds on Branches. And it has the birds and then it has the branches. So 2 stamps. I picked up the new Silhouette Hummingbird with flowers. So you've got 3 different sizes of the hummingbird with the flowers. So that's really pretty. Speaking of hummingbirds, I picked up this one. It's called Hummingbirds. And Lynn said that she will soon have dies for these hummingbirds. So I'm definitely going to get the dies when they come out. And then finally, I picked this one. It's called The Pasture. It just reminds me of where I live. We have split rail fence in our yard, and a lot of the fields around our house are like that. We have a birch tree growing in our yard. This one just reminded me of where I live. And, even though it's supposed to be the pasture, it kind of reminds me of a driveway. And I could just picture like a little garden down here with some flowers and everything. So that's kind of where I was going with that. But of course, there's lots of other stamps that, Blue Night Rubber Stamps has that you could build a pasture scene. I also picked up the leaf, the maple leaf. It is a stencil and a mask. So you've got the stencil and then you've got the stamp through mask, which is a really cool system where you can make some really pretty cards. And then also from Blue Night Rubber Stamps, they have this really pretty paper. This paper is from Craft Consortium. It's just called Retro Summer. It's got 40 double-sided sheets, 20 different designs, and the designs are just so pretty. And with silhouette stamping, these designs are just so, grab and go. You can take, a lot of the Blue Night Rubber stamps and just go ahead and stamp it right on here, to have a scene. Effortless, basically. All you have to do is, stamp it. And these are some very pretty backgrounds. I just fell in love with this paper. I got this ream of pattern paper. I'll just flip through it here so you can see how pretty it is. There's a cotton candy sky. This is beautiful rainbow background. Yeah, very pretty. This is pretty. It looks like clouds. And then some more rainbow. Looks like it's airbrushed, so it's very pretty. 6x6 paper. Designed in the UK. So we're putting that to good use. So I got home last night and I was gonna film my haul video, but I ended up just playing with some of these new stamp sets. And let me show you what I did while I was playing with some of these new stamp sets. And then let's see here. So with the birds, I ink blended this background using some Catherine Pooler inks, and I stamped the birds. And then I can cut this out with a square die, put it on a card front, and I'm going to stamp Happy Anniversary. Let me see, I stamped it twice. Yeah, so that's that. This is from a make and take from before. I don't know the name of this stamp from Blue Night Rubber Stamp, but I did this when I was at the Allentown show. And then for the hummingbirds and the flowers, I did a rainbow pattern of ink blending. These are all Catherine Pooler Date Night inks. So we've got Cumberbund in the Park, chiffon. I always call it lemon chiffon. Chiffon, Catching Rays, and Pucker Up. And I just ink blended a rainbow. This one is Flying South. And instead of using pan pastels, I used ink, Catherine Pooler inks. And the same with this one. I used some Catherine Pooler inks for that. So that was me just playing real quick last night, trying to, just trying to wind down. I took a nap whenever I got home from the stamp show, and Nancy was on her way home at that point, and I was super tired. So then I couldn't sleep later because my nap was like from 4:30 to 6:30, which is not a good time to take a nap. Not if you want to be able to sleep, later on in the night. I would advise against it. So let's go ahead and do some ink blending. And we'll go ahead and use this Silhouette Birds on Branches. And we'll go ahead and use this stencil and stamp through set. So we're going to go ahead and open this. And we'll use pan pastels. Okay, so you want to use the thicker stencil and mask as your standard stencil. So this one is thicker, okay? And you want to separate the leaf. This one still is connected to the stencil, so I just need to, let me grab my little scissors here and just snip, snip. So if you get one that has some of the Mylar still together, no problem. Just go ahead and take your scissors, follow that line. It's going to pop off quite easily, okay? It's not going to take much to get that to separate. If you have a pair of sharp scissors, all you need to do is just go up against that area and pop. It pops right out. Okay? I guess if you're really strong, you can just pull it apart. But I don't want to rip. I don't think it would rip, but I don't want to take any chances. So I'm going to play it safe and just use my little scissors, the sharp points of my scissors. Okay, so that's separated. So that's our stencil and mask, and this is the stamp through. So once you have your stencil, now this is pretty thin. I can just pull this, I think. Let's see. Once you have your area stenciled, then you can use this to stamp through. and I will show you what I mean. Let me just snip that piece. Okay. So that's going to go second. First thing we'll do is this. So what I want to do is get an idea in my head of what colors I would like to use. All right. So I've got the leaf here in the middle of my cardstock. And I'm thinking that we'll go with the golden tones, the yellows. So I'll grab those. We'll stamp on it later. Let's get that out of the way. Move the mask. And let me grab some washi tape. Just grab some low-tack tape. Okay. And just put that right on top of your, well, probably not like that, because that's not going to work. I'll have to move it. I'll do ones, I'll start up here. Yeah, so I'll start by, I'll just have to hold it. You could also use pixie spray to do this. You don't have to tape it if you don't want to. You can take some pixie spray, spray the back of the leaf, and then it'll stick to the paper. But pixie spray is a low tack adhesive, so it'll come right back off again when you need to pull it away. Okay, let me find my pan pastel coloring tools, which are basically softy sponges. And we'll just keep them in a box like this. It's good to have a piece of paper towel handy when you're working with pan pastels. My paper towel. All right. Okay, so let's just do sort of like a sunset. Start with yellow. All right, so now pan pastels are highly pigmented, and Blue Night Rubber Stamps sells them in sets. So you can check that out over on their website, the different sets that they have. I would highly recommend buying them from Blue Night Rubber Stamps in the sets that they sell them as, because they all go together so well, and it takes the guesswork out of it for you. You don't have to try and guess which colors you should have in your pan pastels, because Blue Night Rubber Stamps has those great sets. So the color that I'm using first is called, it's like a yellow tint. Okay, so let me just clean my sponge first, because this sponge still has a little bit of color on it from last time. I want to get that off. All right, and then I'm going to take that light yellow, and I'm just going to go across the paper. I'm using Hammer Mill. Hammer Mill premium color copy paper. It is nice and smooth. Okay, so I am just gliding this across here effortlessly. You know, if you have problems with arthritis or other problems with your hands, you'll find that this is so much easier than ink blending, and it's definitely just as powerful of an impact, I think. All right, because these are highly pigmented pastels. They're not chalk. Okay, they are an artist quality, highly pigmented pastels. Now, you see I did most of that in yellow. That's going to be sort of like, base. And then I'm going to go in with orange. Let me check the name. The official name of the color is orange. Ding, ding, ding. I got it right. Take a little bit of orange, and like halfway through, I'll just go ahead and start blending in some orange. Okay. maybe a little bit higher. Maybe just like take some brushes of it around the edges of the leaf, right? Just to give it that glow look, sort of like glowing, okay? Now this is where I'm gonna have to carefully remove my tape. This is where if I would have used pixie dust, I wouldn't have to do that. Pixie spray. I wouldn't have had to do this, but okay, so I'm gonna keep my hand on it, but I forgot I'm using my magnetic glass board. So I don't need tape. I can just use my magnets to hold everything in place. Oh, that's great. Okay. All right, so we're using orange. Again, a little bit of orange at the bottom here. Just dragging that across. Going also along the mask. This is what the mask is. Okay, now for my final color, I'm going to get some reddish color. And that color is Permanent Red Shade. This is the color that I'm going to use. Permanent Red Shade. Okay. I love pan pastels, everybody. I love playing with them. You can make a card so quickly, and it just turns out so nice. So I have just a cosmetic sponge. This is a softy sponge. This is a cosmetic sponge. Softy sponges are more dense, and they're specially made to work with pan pastels. This is a foamy, soft cosmetic sponge. I will say it doesn't give you like as much control, but I figure for this project, all I'm doing is taking the cosmetic sponge across the bottom of the paper, and I feel that that's really going to be fine just using this. You know, if I want to get really technical, I can grab this little softy sponge that sort of looks like a diamond and use that. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to worry about it if you just are doing this kind of ink blending, but you can see how much more it lays down when it's a softy sponge as opposed to a cosmetic sponge. But cosmetic sponges, you know, they're good too for blending, so I'm not gonna totally say you don't want to use them, but the softy sponges were specially made for this. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm going up along my leaf with this, what's ever left over on this sponge, which has got red, this permanent red. I'm not going really hard. I'm just like flicking it, okay? I'm just trying to get that silhouette effect. I am trying to blend things a little bit, okay? And if you wanted to, you can go through with a colorless blender and blend it out. But I think what I'm going to do is grab the sponge that I had originally and just clean one of the edges off. And I will just fine-tune things that way. I think it's good. I think it's really good. All right, let's see the reveal. Ooh, look at that. That is so nice. So nice. All right, so now we have our nice pan pastel background. Very fall looking. You know, soon we'll be making our fall cards. I would say that I do enjoy the fall season. I'm not trying to wish summer away, but I do enjoy making cards with leaves and fall scenes, that's for sure. So I was excited to get this mask and stencil. Okay, just going to go ahead and put these sponges away. Another thing, when you go to these shows, a lot of times the companies that are represented there, they'll have specials. So like at Blue Night Rubber Stamp, the special was buy 5, get 1 free. So I bought 5 stamps and I got stencil free. Or I could have bought 5 stamps and got a 6 stamps free. But I really wanted to get the stencil, and I have most of their stamps already, so That was the choice that I made. Now I'm just cleaning off my glass board here. Okay, I'm gonna clean off my hands a little bit. Now here's where the fun comes in. Let's go ahead and say we're going to line this up right over top, all right? We're lining it up. It's going to match perfectly with that outline of that mask that we just used, all right? This is the thicker one. Sorry, you want to use the thinner one. Excuse me. Now I'm going to grab some kind of stamping platform, stamping positioning tool, and I'm going to stamp something inside my leaf. And that's going to be the birds. Okay, so let me just say this is what it's going to look like. Let me grab this is my Stamparatus. You could use any stamping platform. Okay, I'm going to put this up in this corner, I think. Okay. No, down a little bit lower so I can get this mask to work. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Lining it up. Okay, getting that lined up nice. If you wanted to, you could use some washi tape. I'm just going to go ahead and use these magnets. Then I'm going to grab our silhouette birds on branches, and we'll go ahead and put them in the middle of the leaf. Okay. All right, I have some Catherine Puller Midnight ink, which is a really nice ink for red rubber stamps. If you use it on your clear stamps, it will stain, but it comes right off of red rubber stamps. I have this piece of acetate that I'm going to lay over top. This is going to be my, I guess, test. I want to make sure my birds are straight and they're in the position I want them to be in before I permanently stamp them down onto the paper. So this is what I did. I've inked it up. Just going to gently tap. Let's see. Does that look okay? Actually, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think that looks pretty good. So I'll take my paper towel, wipe that ink off. Careful you don't get that ink on your project. That's going in the garbage. I don't want to get that ink all over me. Okay, so then let's go ahead and remove the acetate. Set that aside. And just stamp directly onto our project. I'll go ahead. Oh, and Blue Knight Rubber Stamp sells these little magnetic ink pad holders. So you know when you're inking and you try not to get the ink all over your fingers, you try to be careful not to drop the ink on your project. These little magnetic things, they're like little blocks that are magnetic. Comes with the little magnet you can put on the back of your stamp pad. Makes it so much easier and gives you, like, I don't know, like less anxiety about using these kind of inks over top of your project, because you're going to be able to use the handle to get a grip, literally, on your ink pad. Now I'm just going to gently tap, 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 rub, rub, rub. Okay, and now I'm paying attention. Let's see if I missed any spots. Looks like this one little spot here, I can maybe apply a little bit more gentle pressure. There we go. There we go. And the tail feather of this bird. Just a little bit of gentle pressure. That helps to fill that in too. Now, if you want it to be equally, like even darker, you could stamp it again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. One thing I can do though, if I wanted to, I could take this stamp and let's do that. Let's remove the birds and let's put some leaves up around the top here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Now this I'm not going to stamp on acetate first because, I mean, it's just like leaves and it's very natural looking, so we don't have to. All right, you could, if you want to, stamp it on acetate first, but I think it'll be all right. So I missed the spot, so I'm just going to go right back in there one more time. That looks really good. And I might want to add some more leaves here in these other white spaces. So let me wipe off my stamp. And let's see, that should work. Let me move the magnet some. Right about there. That'll work. Okay. Very nice. the branch is right there. I should have turned it the other way. That's okay. Hey, it's handmade, not Hallmark, right? You get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, I want this to be like this. This Midnight ink from Catherine Poehler, super juicy. There we go. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, let me wipe this stamp off. Wipe the birdies off. Nice thing about the Blue Night rubber stamps, they come with this laminated card and the stamps will stick to it, so perfect storage. Now I will take the magnets away and carefully remove the thinner mask. I can take that down to the sink and rinse it out. And here we have our finished project. I mean panel. So you'll see the birds there, okay? And they've got the leaf around them. And they look awesome. Now I just want to stamp down here, happy anniversary. And then you do spray. Once this ink will dry, I'll spray this with hairspray. It helps to set the pan pastels. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to share that with you really quick and encourage you, if you have a stamp show that's in your area, you know, go to it. We heard some people complaining about how there weren't that many vendors and sometimes they feel like it's not worth their time to go. But if we don't continue supporting these shows, someday, they could go away. And we don't want these shows to go away because the products that they offer, you can't find them in the big box store. And yeah, you can go ahead, get them online, but to be able to touch and feel it and try it for yourself before you buy it, there's nothing that compares to that. So please get out and support these. I mean, if they're close to where you live, like within an hour or so, I'm not asking anybody to drive an unreasonable distance. But if you have the means to do that and go to one of these shows, I would highly encourage it. I'll have the products that I used linked below, though I'll have the websites linked below. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. I have 3,400 subscribers, so I'd like to do a giveaway. So leave a comment below and tell me what you think about these Blue Knight rubber stamps, um, um, stencil and stamp through projects. All right, let me know what you think, and you'll be entered if you're a U.S. resident only, age 18 or older, and you leave a comment below about the Blue Knight rubber stamp stencil and stamp through set. This one is the maple leaf. They have one that's shaped like a dog. There's one that's shaped like a bear. There's a hot air balloon. There's a like a moose. They have a lot to pick from. So thanks so much for watching. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.